Thanks for watching The 9.
All right, how's the housing market in Metro Detroit shaping up for 2023? Associate broker, realtor James Danley, our good friend, here this morning to share what are the trends for 2023. James, Happy New Year.
Ryan,
good morning to you.
It's a pleasure
Absolutely.
to be here.
So here we go. You can't talk about the housing market and not mention interest rates. Where are they going, and what do you see forecasting there?
So interest rates will not have as dramatic of an effect on the market this year as they did last year. Last year, the Fed obviously hiked rates 4.25% in total. So the indications are the Fed's finalizing their rate hikes, and they're going to probably continue hiking through the first half of the year, and they'll finish somewhere between 0.75 and 1.25 additional rate hikes. So it won't be nearly as dramatic as it was last year, but it's going to continue through the first half of the year for sure.
All right, as we look at inventory, there was a part of 2021, 2022 where you couldn't, you couldn't even get into a house to see it before it was sold. I mean, the house goes out on the market, it's sold that day, it seemed like. Where is inventory going to go? Houses staying on the market a lot longer?
So we're already starting to see that. This past year has been a little bit more of a grind. If the housing product's not perfect as far as functionality, location, design, it's sitting longer, and those different types of housing products are taking price discounts. So it's really category specific. In general, though, we've seen an increase in inventory over the past 6 months.
What about prices? Obviously, there was a time where, if you did not bid over ask, you weren't getting that house.
Yeah, no, the last 6 months, we've been helping clients get pretty good purchases. If you find sellers that need to move, or they have to move, or they got another property under contract, we've been negotiating pretty steep price discounts. Some, 10, 15% under asking, actually.
Is there a time, as we look at the calendar year, a time for buyers, a time for sellers? If you're in, if you're in the selling market, are you trying to get your house listed by X month?
Yeah, so historically in Michigan, seasonality has always played effect in the real estate market, with the exception of obviously 2020 and 2021. So we felt the seasonal slowdown end of last year. This year, after roughly January 15th, holidays are over, everyone starts hunting for properties again. So between now and the summer is really the best seasonal section to sell. You have the most buyer activity, everyone's ready to move. And then it's probably the end of the year that's the best buying opportunities, where you have some sellers that need to sell, the market's slowed down, and you get pretty steep pricing discounts.
One of the things about over the last couple of years of real estate that I've always kind of thought of is, because I was in this spot at one point, the first-time home buyer. When you're, the rents are so high, you're paying $2,000, $2,500 to live in some locations, some apartments, but the price of a home for a first-time home buyer, man, depending upon where you want to be, it has been tough for that group of people.
It has, especially because most first-time home buyers don't want to do any renovation work, so they want the product that's perfect, that's updated, that's done, and that's the stuff that sells the fastest and for the most dollar. So it depends on if you have access to skilled trades and if you're comfortable doing a functional renovation. But there's a lot of good, what I consider grandma's housing product, which is they've spent all the money on the roof, the windows, the furnace, all the expensive mechanicals, but it needs a kitchen and a bath. And everyone's hesitant to do it, but that's where you get the best buys, I think, is you buy housing product like that, and then you do the kitchen and bath renovations, then you have equity.
Okay, so I ask you this every time I see you, and I'm going to ask it to you again. As we potentially go down the road of a recession here, you do not, and just over the times that we have talked, you do not see anything happening remotely close to what we saw in 08.
The fundamentals of supply and demand are not there. 08 was unique because we had built up tons of shadow inventory for years, and the lending policy had created an entire fake false demand where people were buying multiple homes, so builders over-speculated, overbuilt. Now we're in a situation where over a decade later, we haven't produced enough housing stock to meet demand for the younger millennial buyers. So there's just not enough supply to create that massive flip-flop of supply and demand that caused that crash. Now, a recession could definitely slow the market down, and we could see pricing adjustments, but it's going to be minor. It's not, I mean, nothing like 2008.
Very good stuff. There you see the information on your website, James Danley and Associates, on Woodward in Birmingham. LiveWorkSell.com, and the phone number on your screen as well. James, my friend,
Ryan,
thanks so much.
Always good to see you, man.
Always great to see you, my friend. Absolutely.
Good luck this year.
And hey.